It's like you can practically feel the tremors, coming from the U.S. science world lately.
Mm.
Yeah, all those reports about the federal grant freeze they had earlier this year,
Yeah, yeah.
and the whole question mark hanging over which research projects are actually going to get the green light, and,
Right.
whispers of potential layoffs, like across the board.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real picture of uncertainty over there, isn't it?
Definitely a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, but like we always say on this show, one person's uncertainty
Yeah,
could be another's golden opportunity.
absolutely.
And that's exactly what we're diving deep into today, how Europe can actually seize this moment,
Right.
make the most of it.
Yeah.
So we're calling this deep dive Mega, making Europe's ascent great again.
Sure.
It's about flipping the script, right?
Exactly.
Not just watching this unfold from across the pond, but seeing it as a chance for Europe to step up its game
Yeah.
in science, become a real powerhouse. And today we're going to explore how all this stuff happening, which we've been reading about in all these reports recently, how it creates a prime opportunity for Europe to attract the best scientific minds in the world.
That's the goal.
Because let's face it, that kind of brain power, that's a direct investment in our future, right? I mean, for all of us living in Europe.
Absolutely.
It's about our competitiveness globally, our ability to innovate, our economic growth, and honestly, just the overall well-being of everyone, having
Yeah.
that sense of optimism about the future.
I think that's a really important point.
Right.
The well-being and the optimism.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about solving, the challenges that are facing us. And it's hard to feel optimistic when you don't know if anyone's working on the solutions.
Exactly. So we've got all these reports and articles, and they're painting a pretty interesting picture of what's going on with funding in the U.S. and the ripple effects it's having.
Yeah.
And there are even some cases where, honestly, it seems like they're scrutinizing research just because of the wording people are using, which is kind of wild.
It is. It's definitely concerning.
Yeah, it's a bit eyebrow-raising. But that's why we're here today. Our mission is to break down all this information, really dissect it,
Yeah.
and pull out the actionable stuff, the concrete steps that the EU, individual European countries, businesses here, and even just everyday citizens like us,
Right.
what can we do to make Europe the place to be if you're a brilliant scientist?
Make it a no-brainer. Right.
Exactly. So let's jump right in. First things first, what can the EU do at that big overarching level?
Okay, well, I think right off the bat, you've got to look at the immediate problem for a lot of these scientists in the U.S. It's this instability with funding, right?
Right.
I mean, sure, they officially rescinded that federal grant freeze from back in January.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it created this climate of doubt.
Yeah, it makes you hesitant. Like, can I count on this?
Exactly. And researchers, they need to know that their projects, their whole careers, it's all on solid ground. This is where the EU has a real opportunity. Imagine this. A Europe-wide effort, like a huge campaign even, just to send this clear, unwavering message. Europe is here for science. It's stable, it's reliable, and we're increasing funding for research across all fields.
So it's not just talk, it's backing it up with action, right?
Absolutely.
How do they make that message truly resonate, though? How do they really show it?
Well, I think they could really shout from the rooftops about all the successful research initiatives they already have going on.
Right.
We don't need to go into specifics here, but think about the massive impact of EU-funded research
Oh, yeah, for sure.
in healthcare, climate change, tech. I mean,
It's huge.
highlighting all these achievements, all that progress, it's a powerful way to show Europe's commitment to science.
Yeah.
It's not just a flash in the pan. It's long-term investment, and here's the proof. And beyond that, I think making the actual relocation process easier would be huge. Like a fast track specifically for scientists and their families, sorting out visas and immigration and all that stuff.
Right.
Because that's a huge barrier for a lot of people.
It's such a headache.
Oh, it's a nightmare. And if
Right.
Europe wants to show it's serious, that's one way to do it. Make it smooth, make it
Yeah.
welcoming.
Yeah, like, come on in, the water's fine.
Exactly.
So a dedicated, efficient pathway for scientific talent. That just makes sense, right?
It seems like a no-brainer.
Totally. Okay, so once they're here, what can the EU do at that level to keep the momentum going, create this amazing research environment?
Okay, well, I think continuing to invest in and promote cross-border collaboration within the EU would be really attractive. Like,
Yeah.
really emphasizing how strong and unified the European research area is.
Right.
You can easily connect with colleagues in different countries. You have access to all these different resources and perspectives. That's a big draw.
It's that melting pot of ideas.
Exactly. It's like the interconnectedness of European science is a huge strength.
It's definitely something to leverage, for sure. Okay, that paints a good picture of the EU's role. Now let's zoom in a bit. What about individual countries within Europe? What can they do on a more local level to attract these scientists?
Okay, well, while the EU kind of sets the stage, the big framework, each country really has to make sure its own research environment is top-notch.
Yeah, make it irresistible.
Exactly. That means offering competitive research grants at a national level, investing in cutting-edge facilities,
The best equipment, the best labs.
the best of the best,
Yeah.
stuff that rivals or even surpasses what they have elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then also creating this supportive ecosystem where scientists can actually build their careers.
Right, like a nurturing environment.
Exactly.
And didn't we actually come across a real-world example of this when we were going through the research?
We did, yes. There was that job posting that really stood out.
Tell me about it.
It was from Heidelberg University in Germany.
Okay.
They were advertising these Schaller Research Group leader positions
Okay.
in infectious diseases.
Oh, wow. That's a really relevant field these days.
Absolutely. And I mean, Heidelberg is a prestigious university, and Germany's a leading research nation in Europe.
Right.
So I think it sends a powerful message. Europe isn't just open to scientists. We're actively seeking them out. We want the best of the best.
It's a direct invitation. Come here, do groundbreaking work.
So it seems like Europe's stepping up, but we did also see those job postings from places like the University of Utah, UT Southwestern in the U.S.
Yeah, and don't forget those ones in China.
Oh, right. Peking University, Fudan University.
Yeah, so the competition is definitely global. It's not just Europe vying for this talent.
Okay, so how can European countries really make themselves stand out?
Well, I think competitive salaries and research funding are obviously crucial. You have to make it financially worthwhile.
Of course.
But I think Europe has this secret weapon: quality of life.
Yeah. Explain that.
Well, think about the rich cultural heritage we have here, the strong social support systems.
Right.
And in a lot of European countries, there's more emphasis on work-life balance. It's not all about the grind.
Exactly. And highlighting those aspects,
Yeah.
access to great health care and education, the opportunity to really immerse yourself in European culture.
Yeah.
That can be hugely appealing, especially for scientists who have families.
Because it's about the whole package, isn't it?
Exactly. It's about offering a full, enriching experience, not just a job in a lab.
It's the whole European experience. You're selling a lifestyle.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about the EU, individual countries. Now let's talk about another key player: businesses. European businesses. What role can they play in attracting and retaining top scientists?
Well, I think European companies have a real opportunity here to step up their game when it comes to research and development, like really increasing their investment.
Okay, so put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, and not just that. You got to offer competitive salaries, obviously, but also provide access to the latest and greatest research resources, all within the company,
Right.
and create clear career paths for scientists so they can see a future there. If you do that, they can compete for talent globally.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, those Chinese universities are actively recruiting too.
Yeah, it's a wake-up call.
It really is.
So European businesses need to be proactive.
Absolutely. They
Well-
can't just sit back and wait for talent to come to them.
Right. They have to go out and get it.
They have to be aggressive.
But it's not just about, hiring scientists directly, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I think collaboration between businesses and universities is essential.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Well, if you can foster these strong partnerships between European universities and companies,
Yeah.
you can create this much more vibrant research ecosystem.
Okay.
And I think that's more attractive to scientists. These collaborations, they can lead to a wider range of research opportunities. They bridge the gap between fundamental science and actually putting that science into practice in the real world,
Right.
which ultimately drives innovation and economic growth.
So it's a win-win for everyone.
It is.
It's about connecting that theoretical world with the practical application of it all.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else can European companies do to make themselves super attractive to these scientists?
I think creating a truly welcoming and inclusive work environment is really, really important.
Right.
European businesses need to be intentional about building company cultures that value diversity
Of course, yeah.
in all its forms, and they need to provide support for international employees.
It's more than just a job, right?
It is. It's about helping them adjust to a new country, a new workplace.
Right.
And that could be everything from language support to cultural integration programs.
Yeah.
You want to make people feel like they belong.
It's that sense of belonging, right? That's so important.
It is.
And that brings us to a really important piece of this whole puzzle that's often overlooked. It's us, the everyday citizens of Europe.
Right.
What role can we play in making Europe a magnet for scientists?
I think the impact of a welcoming and open society can't be overstated. When citizens create that kind of positive and inclusive environment in their communities, it helps scientists and their families feel more at home, like they're really part of something.
Yeah, it's that feeling of being integrated, of
Yeah.
being welcomed, right?
Exactly.
So it can be as simple as just being kind, being open to different cultures, and just having a generally welcoming attitude,
Right.
because that can make a huge difference in making Europe a place where people actually want to live and work.
It really can.
So it's about creating this culture where science is valued and scientists feel like they're valued members of society.
Absolutely.
What else can citizens do to contribute to all of this?
I think promoting science literacy and just a general appreciation for research among the public is also important.
Yeah, like understanding what these scientists do and why it matters.
Exactly. Because when people understand and value scientific inquiry, it naturally creates a more supportive environment for researchers.
It's like fertile ground for those ideas to grow.
It is. And encouraging open and informed discussions about scientific advancements can help foster a culture of curiosity and innovation right from the grassroots level.
Right, so it's like we're all part of that scientific conversation.
We are.
And I imagine celebrating Europe's scientific achievements, the historical breakthroughs, the cutting-edge stuff happening now, that plays a role too, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think highlighting all those incredible discoveries and innovations that came from Europe can inspire the next generation of scientists, the ones already here and those who are thinking about making Europe their home.
Right.
It's a reminder of Europe's long and proud history of scientific excellence, and that this is a place where groundbreaking work happens and it's celebrated.
So it's like we've got this legacy and now we're building on it. We're carrying the torch.
Exactly.
So this is where you come in, dear listener, because attracting these incredible scientific minds, it's not just about government policies or what businesses are doing. It's about the kind of society we build together,
It is.
because it directly benefits you, the listener, through new technologies, economic growth, solutions to the big problems we're facing.
All of that.
So I want you to think about your own experiences, your community. What do you think makes Europe a great place for scientists to come and work? What could we do better at a local level to make them feel truly welcome?
Those are really important questions for all of us to reflect on.
They are. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's pretty clear that what's happening in the U.S. right now, even though it's definitely creating challenges over there, it's a huge opportunity for Europe, a real turning point.
Yeah, I agree.
And if we act strategically, if we're coordinated in our efforts at the EU level, within individual countries, through our businesses, and as citizens welcoming these scientists into our communities, we have a real shot at making Europe's scientific community the strongest in the world.
It's a chance to become a global leader in research and innovation for decades to come.
And that's exciting, isn't it?
It is.
So I want you to keep thinking about this, even after the episode ends. Think about those big picture implications. Where do these scientists decide to go? How does that shape global innovation in the years to come? And how can Europe not just benefit from this moment, but actually grab the reins and steer its own course, become a hub for scientific discovery and progress? What kind of future for European science do we want to create together?
It's an exciting time to be thinking about these questions.
It is. There's so much potential. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today. It's been a great conversation.
It has. Always a pleasure.